Black Magic Sorcerer here. Again, just for fun, I wanted to try as quickly as possible to address the subject without going on a psychotic rant. I'm enjoying the Sun Sphere, contemplating it. But lately, I've been thinking a lot about this thing we call the death curse. In martial arts, you do have certain schools that teach a method called the touch of death. And I guess if you're lucky and high enough up in the order you're in, maybe you get access to this information or someone teaches it to you. A true death curse, by the definition of most of the books, is not necessarily a death of the spirit or a death of the soul. It was a physical death of the person. So the question we have to ask ourselves is this: do you maintain or have the kind of power or energy in you that you could transfer that much of a lightning bolt of energy to someone that it would physically cause them to go into a seizure and die? I really truly would like to see this demonstrated, like not on a person, but like if there was a way to demonstrate it, like on, I don't know, on a rat, if someone had that kind of talent, or demonstrate it on someone that deserves it, I guess. Like someone who got away with doing something horrible to someone and wasn't convicted because the law let them get away with it. You know, what is it reserved for? What is the point of the death curse? Well, if you're already a bipolar, really pissed off, moody, super broody, always looking for a fight kind of person, you don't need the fucking knowledge of curses because you're going to abuse it. If you got a temper of any kind and you get offended easily and you're taught and know how to use a curse, you're going to use it every single time. And that's really sad because I think you're really missing out on a lot by thinking that you have to kill someone to eliminate them. Killing someone is actually not as satisfying as torturing someone with magic. And I think a lot of people who are into the dark arts would agree it's far more fun to watch over a period of time an individual disintegrate from your talent than to just simply hear, hey, phone call, I got a heart attack. Because here's the thing. Let's say you want to kill someone and they die then by natural cause because you're like, by any means necessary, make sure he's dead. You know, I'm going to kill you with black magic. If it's some natural thing that happens, like a car accident or a heart attack, there will always be that little part of you that says, well, maybe it was just a coincidence. Couldn't have been. So those people that think it's just a coincidence, they don't ever do it again because they kind of get scared out of it. And it's very humbling. It's humbling to know that you took a life with black magic. It's not like something you would brag about or want to talk about. I liken it to like a police officer or a soldier in battle who has to kill someone because they don't want to. For example, I was put in a position where this individual stalked me for a year, an older male, and for lack of a better term, probably was plotting to take me out, but I intervened, and I intervened with black magic. So you can fill in the blank on that one, but there's still a part of me that says, well, maybe it was a coincidence. No, it wasn't. It was enough of a threat that I felt that I had to call upon certain forces to get a certain job done. And the thing that was funny is, even though I was thinking I wanted to move forward and do this curse, before I could even do it, it happened. And that is what was so sobering, is in the process of preparing to maybe do this, it happened. So when your will is true, when you have a true will, and that term has been abused so much, and I'm sick of that term too. True will. Well, what is your true will? Well, if I wake up, my true will is going to be to take a piss if I've been asleep for 8 hours, because that's what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of stuff just because we need to do it, not because we want to, or because it's fun, or because in some kind of fucking blur of rage, you want to kill Jimmy, the guy that you pissed you off the other night at fucking the pool hall. I have a sense of humor and it's pretty dark, so feel free to check out less dark channels if you think it's too hardcore. So, anyway, the death curse. The death curse, the death curse. I think I'm going to be powerful enough one day to do the fucking death curse, even if you are so fucking what? That's like saying one day I'll be powerful enough to blow someone's head off. You can do some really great things by taking out horrible people, but that can't be your MO. Like, it'd be like if I wanted to live a lifestyle like the Punisher, the Marvel hero, the Punisher. He was, of course, my favorite character growing up. Still do love him. I love the concept of the individual who has been completely wronged and wronged by someone who totally deserves that revenge. And I love that whole vigilante style scenario. It's totally necessary. And if the world were ran by black magic sorcerer, what would happen when someone did something horrible to a child or family member that was dear is that person would be handed over to the family of the victim, the person that did the crime. So you molested a 10-year-old, your punishment is now you are in the custody until your death of mom and dad. Wouldn't that just be so sobering and cool that the police said, well, here's your room. You have a variety of tools to choose from here. You got 48 hours to do whatever you're going to do to them. But you know what? If you can't finish them off, we will. I think that would be a suitable punishment for a scumbag of that caliber. And if you think saying someone is a scumbag is a big deal, you're a fucking moron. Because check this out. Come to my side of the planet, and I will show you so many scumbags and prove to you that they are without you even having to really get to know them that well. But by the time you're done, you'll be saying, black magic sorcerer, you're so right. And I keep asking myself, where are the vigilantes? Where the fuck are they? All these crimes that people are getting away with. Why isn't someone out there like a Punisher, like that kind of a person? Why aren't we hearing, wow, another scumbag killed today. 4 members of the such and such gang were found hung from a tree in Central Park. You aren't even hearing that. You know why you're not hearing that? Because we accept it. Oh, did you hear another little girl was murdered today? Was raped by some scumbag that just got out because he wasn't imprisoned long enough. That's what you have to look forward to when you raise your kids here, when you walk down the street, when you fucking go to get an ice cream cone. You get to look at scum. Some piece of shit urinating in the street. Digging through trash. Digging through trash like a motherfucker. I've never seen a group of humans that has contributed so much to recycling. They should be put on some kind of fucking payroll by the government for picking up recycling, because they pretty much are the recycling program. These individuals that we're supposed to feel sorry for because they're homeless. I feel sorry for homeless people that are homeless because something horrible happened and they had no other choice. Doing drugs and being a criminal is not the same as being homeless. Catch my drift? Individuals I'm talking about are the kind of people who are probably taking someone's purse, breaking in your car, sneaking into your house when you're at work, sneaking in your yard, taking whatever they can, whatever they can get their hands on. Little petty theft shit. May not be something that you'd want to blow someone's head off for, but I'll tell you what, if someone were to make off with a few personal items of mine that were dear to me, I probably would do exactly that. Especially if it was in the act. I mean, not later, like I found them and blew their head off, but you know what I'm saying. If it was an intruder situation, I would definitely be prepared, and always am. This is where being into black magic really helps the world. And here's what I think people need to do more. I heard in the era of Hitler that I think it was Gerald Gardner, who really I'm not into all of that. Just take a wild guess why. But his group did a group spell, group ritual to keep Hitler from invading a certain place. I believe it was. The situation was if he invaded wherever he was going to invade, it was going to be very, very bad for all of us. And it was rumored that several of the people that were in this ritual actually died themselves doing the ritual just so that there would be enough energy. They basically gave their life force up, so to speak, to cause this historical event to happen, and he was stopped. So you hear stories like that, but then you go back to, oh, well, maybe that was just a coinkydink. When you've done magic long enough, you don't have to worry so much about whether or not your death curse is going to work, because you're going to start seeing that the other stuff works. Your Reiki is stronger. Your psychic telepathy with others is stronger. Your ability to communicate with animals becomes stronger when you become more open and susceptible to forces that you allow to experience. But this whole death curse thing, it's a bunch of bullshit, because here's the deal. If someone out there had that power, it would be spreading like wildfire that it actually works, and this person would be on everyone's speed dial. I mean, could you imagine if it were legal to hire a hitman? It'll never be legal. But imagine that. That's where magic comes into play. So you can practice magic on someone to the point that they can go crazy, that they can get sick, they can be killed by having their energy drained, I believe, if enough people simultaneously did it. Like if 2 vampires were to vampirize someone for 3 days straight, I think they could take someone out. I think they could put them into a coma. I really do. Because the concept is, to me, it's very real, because I've seen Reiki work so well that if a person can send that kind of energy, then certainly from a distance you should be able to send dark energy, cursed energy, energy that makes you clumsy. Like today, I noticed I bumped my elbow and my hand twice on stuff. And I got plenty of sleep last night. I'm, not taking any cold medicine. I'm totally sober, But I've just been really fucking clumsy. So I'm turning into Stater Bros parking lot to go get a coffee at Starbucks, and this chick was kind of pulled out too far, and I overextended my turn, and I hit my rim on my Camaro. That pissed me off because I've been clumsy. So when I start feeling like I could fall and break my leg at any moment, that to me is a sign that there's some bad energy around. So whether or not it's just my mind playing tricks on me, I vanish at that point. So, about an hour ago, I just did LVPR and I feel much better. So sometimes you got to use the energy of the angels to just cleanse. Not so much you or your energy system, but the energy that's around you needs to be cleansed. Basically forced out. Those spiritual bouncers are very useful if it becomes too much for you. The only discretion I would say with that is make sure you do your bouncing with respect. But if something is trying to leech off of you or kill you, you need to destroy it with magic. And you should do that yourself. If you're psychic enough to perceive the thing that's causing it, you should go after them full-fledged. I mean, if I knew someone was attacking me with magic, first of all, I would laugh, because unless you're a very renowned, skilled individual, if it's just, hi, I'm Johnny from the internet, and I'm trying to kill you with black magic, that's great. But until you can provide that result, then, it doesn't mean shit. I mean, you better show me a fucking resume, buddy. This whole idea of people that are into studying and practicing magic, having this elitist mindset, like I'm a more powerful, better magician than said magician, it's not going to impress anyone, because the way that nature works is even the biggest predator in nature has something that can take it out. It's something to think about. Even the baddest black magician on the fucking planet cannot escape the forces of nature. You may be able to master them, but he will not ever be able to escape the inevitable. He will die, his body will turn to dust, and that will be it for the body. So, part 2. Let's say that your aim is not so much to kill the person physically, but you start aiming very specifically at one of their energy bodies, the soul. So instead of draining the spirit, which is the energy system, I would call it, you drain the soul, the deeper part of them, the part that makes them them. You start erasing and eradicating that part that makes them them. You make them start doubting themselves. You start putting things subconsciously into their mind about death. Make it where they start dreaming about funerals. They start dreaming about being sick. They start dreaming about getting in a car accident. What you're doing is you're causing them to create a scenario in the astral that will eventually turn to the physical. And I don't even know if that's a proper way to describe it, but if you've seen the way magic plays out, that does seem to be what happens. So let's say this is my sigil. I've drawn it on a piece of paper, but until I meditate on it, this sigil is not real in the astral plane. Okay? So it's basically just a piece of paper until you put your will and motivation into it. And your focus and your thoughts on it being the sigil and what it's supposed to do, that is what programs it. And physically putting your energy in it by visualizing and making sure that you're charging it with the proper energy. So this piece of paper is being charged with the proper energy for each sphere as I go. And when I'm done, this will actually be its own talisman. And that happened by accident. I don't know, frame it maybe when I'm done. Anyway, friends, I really hate to make a video that's 20 minutes long because I know listening to me can be very boring, but I did want to rant about this a little bit, that there's other ways to take care of someone that doesn't require you hiring a hitman or a spiritual hitman. But if you want to attack someone with magic, I recommend you attack the spiritual side and don't expect them to physically get killed by a rock falling from the sky. That's it, folks. More later. Dark blessings.